too much.
Oh, we're live. We're live. Hello, everyone, and welcome, Wendy, all the way from down under. We are continuing this body awe exploration, and today my guest is WendyMulder from who's actually in the outback of Australia today. Correct, Wendy?
Yes, that's correct. I am. Yeah, it's glorious. I've just been absolutely loving the sunrises and sunsets and flowers and fire and everything. It's been amazing. My body is very, very happy. Really, really happy.
Well, let's see what else your body has to, go into today. So if you were to talk about your biggest or greatest body awe moment so far, or one of them, what would that be?
Well, I was looking at that, and there's so many different moments, but I think one of the things that really was just like an amazing miracle for me with my body was, and so there's a little bit of a story, but when I first when I first started getting into the access consciousness and the tools, and from a very young age, probably from about 5 years of age, up until I was well into my 40s, I suffered massively from migraines, and they used to debilitate me, and I went to every type of alternative medical, took all the different types of pills. I couldn't go anywhere without my pills because it was my little safety net. And then when I started using these tools and, being the question, and then what I became aware of is when you would get when you normally were to get a headache or a migraine or something, the first thing you do is you have this thought and you go, oh, I've got a migraine coming. This means, and then all of a sudden your body would hear that, and it would go, oh, you'll start to feel nauseated, your eyes will get blurry, you'd start to get pain. And then that's what I used to do. And then when I started having these tools, and it was like, it was just a miracle. It was amazing. Because then I started going, what is this body? What is this awareness you're giving me here? Like I catched that energy before I went into the conclusion, oh, this is a headache, this means this, this, and this. And then I'd start to get the symptoms. So I catched it right at the beginning and went, body, what is this awareness? And then, started having the bars and the body work. And it was just amazing because I kept asking that question and actually catching myself, body, what is this awareness? And then over a period of time, I didn't get them anymore. And that was just, to me, was the most amazing miracle, because I just thought, because I would get them every month or every couple of weeks, and I'd be in bed for a couple of days. And then the side effect of having the bars and doing the body work and asking the question, it was like, and then one day it was just like, oh my goodness, I don't have it anymore. And so to me, it was just a miracle. It's just, I'm just in such awe. It's just amazing.
Well, one of the things, the very fact that you're acknowledging it, and that you're actually, a lot of times when we get rid of pain, we forget we ever had it. A lot of times, it's just gone, and then but you're truly acknowledging it, being grateful for it, which, also expands all the possibilities that can come out of that. But the thing I want to ask is, what happens in that moment? When you catch yourself. Okay, now my coming, which is a conclusion, obviously. But so what do you think actually happens in your body?
I don't know. Is it your end or my end? But it's not really clear coming through to me for your talking.
Okay. Oh, let me. I think I'm gonna shut off the Bluetooth again. I think that. Let's see.
It's like this. Yeah.
Sorry,
I can see your lips moving, but. So maybe take the...
Is this better?
Oh, that's... Oh, I can hear you now. Yeah. Now I can't hear you.
Okay, I think...
Yep.
I think this may work. So this is...
Okay.
This is the tricky part.
Yeah.
About
so
let me... Sorry, everyone. You have to be very patient. I'm just going to make sure these don't take back. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you good now.
Okay.
Yeah, it was before it was just this big mumble. And I'm like, I'm trying to read what you were saying, but it just didn't work.
No, that's a bit, that kind of adds a little bit too much of a challenge. So I just wanted to say that you, by acknowledging, the fact that it has changed, and by not just, because a lot of times what we do with pain is that we really, once it's gone, we forget it was ever there. But you're actually acknowledging the pain, and and allowing that to exponentialize.
Oh, absolutely. Like it because it was such a debilitating thing through so many years of my living, and then to actually have to, which was something that I thought I would never change. I'd never be able to change. And, because most people would say, oh, well, you just have to put up with it, or you just, because a lot of times I'd end up having injections or it'd be tablets. And then it was just like, oh, it's, I don't, and it was everywhere that it was just, it changed. And now I can just be the question and communicate with my body and allow to get those whispers from my body. And
that was the second question that you couldn't hear was, could you talk about exactly what happens? You catch yourself in that moment, like you catch yourself before you go to the conclusion. I think a lot of people it would be useful for a lot of people to actually get that sense. What is that? Like you hear the whisper and then...
Yeah, well, you because your body, because your body listens to what you say. And once I became aware of that, and it was, I'd get this little bit of, I'd get this pain, and it's just in that nanosecond to catch it and go, instead of, and that's the demand that was in my world as well, like just to catch it in that nanosecond. Oh, what is, and it really was a muscle that I had to really work with, because I could see how quickly that automatic system came into place. And it was, the fear, I'm going to get another headache. I'm going to be I'm going to be in bed, and I'm not going to be able to change this, to catching it. And that's why I was so grateful for myself and my body to go, to catch it. And just as that energy came in, what is this awareness body? And just saying those 3 words, what is this awareness body that you're gifting me here? And gifting me is the total opposite to where you would be going, the opposite of like, oh my God, what is this pain? You know what I mean? But those words were so powerful.
And also there is a sense of awe in the true simplicity of it. Really is that moment where you, instead of go to conclusion, you choose question. And that is that's the moment of awe, because you can change everything with your body, like by not going to conclusion and instead going to question.
Yeah. And that was such a description. Oh, absolutely. Such a beautiful gift to and to just, it just, I mean, if you should have seen me, I mean, jumping around and so excited, and also just not once, but knowing next time that I knew that there was something different going on now. It wasn't, wasn't that pain that I decided, which means this, and this, which meant that I would have to have these symptoms.
What did that create for the trust that you have with your body? Like the because the more we trust our bodies, the more kind of miracles and wonders we do get to. So how did that shift and
Yeah.
change for you?
Well, I really got that there was this, um, uh, oops, I really got that there was this amazing friend, but also there was this creator within, the creator with me that was working with me if I asked the question. You know, it really gave me this, it's not, well, what is, it's not creator, but it's like this, like I see how much my body facilitates me now with creating income and businesses and my lifestyle.
It's like a
You know, oh,
co-creator,
so
but also
exciting.
yeah, but I
Yeah,
also, for me, my body is a huge guide to consciousness continuously.
yeah,
My body often
yeah,
brings me into a situation where my consciousness gets greater for something that my body is showing me in all kinds of different
yeah.
ways.
Yes, yes. And isn't that so wonderful that we, you know, like that, and that we're walking around and we have the, you know, and for so many years where I wasn't even aware of that, you know,
Yeah.
at all. And then all of a sudden, like, oh my goodness, we have these tools, and then all of a sudden we have this co-creator that can do so much magic with us.
It's always
So
with us.
exciting.
The body is
Yes.
like always around. It's a very good, if you're going to have a best friend, your body is a good
Yes.
choice. So I know that
Absolutely.
you've also been working and written several books actually about grief and,
Yep.
coping, well, not coping, but being with a death from a close person, or even, working with people that work with grief in different ways. So could you talk about how the body actually comes into that? Because we tend to think that grief is in the head, or it's a feeling, like a mental state. But what is it really like? How does the body become part of that? And how can the body actually co-create or help you?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, again, like the body is so um well, so many people when there's grief going on in their world, for starters, that there's all these no, there's all these signs, or you know, like you feel tired, or you're down, or you're depressed, or you're sad, blah blah, all of the, not blah blah, but all of these different ones that show up in a way. And if you're willing to, like, your body is there to, as we said, to co-create, to assist you, to really communicate with you if you're willing to listen to it. And it really is there through grief to let you know that you don't have to go the normal way. You can, again, ask the questions. You can become aware of all those thoughts, feelings, because a lot of times, a lot of those thoughts, feelings, and emotions will get locked in your body. And that's where, again, you can be willing to be aware of that. And all of those thoughts, feelings, and emotions are not yours, and you can allow for something else to show up so that you can have more ease. Does that make
Well,
sense?
it reminds me because we're both 3-day body class facilitators,
Yeah.
and in the classes, a lot of times, I mean, there's a lot of laughter, but there's also
Mm-hmm.
tears at times coming up in
Yeah.
classes, and often when that occurs in my classes, I talk to them about its body sometimes need to release. It doesn't have to do with sadness, but the body actually uses tears to release things that
Yeah.
we stuck in it, that gets stuck in it. Probably is the better English way to say that. And so
Yeah.
could you talk a little bit about that? Because laughter has an amazing way of like changing and shifting things. And so does some
Mm.
tears if we don't connect them to,
Yes.
I am now
Yes.
sad.
Yes. Yeah. And that is so true, because there is that, like, there is that beautiful release with the tears, because a lot of, a lot of times it's a relief.
Mm.
Like the body is just like the relief of being able to just shed the tears, and not, and that's that beautiful one of, like, when someone is crying those tears, to let them cry the tears, not to have to, which is another thing with grief, which is huge, is that we've got to go in there and we've got to comfort them and oh, this, your poor thing can get. It's the total opposite. Is allow them the space, allow the tears, and allow them to be with that. And so is so is then you're not locking that into them. You're allowing them to have the tears and the relief of it, and then that's allowing change to go on in the body.
But not solidifying it, not keeping it in place, but actually allowing the tears to be that release of shift. It's a shift for the body. So I know that you quite recently lost your husband. So how did your body guide you, help you in that process?
Well, I think the big what? Oh, I'm doubling up now.
We're having an interesting Facebook Live. Do you see two of you?
Yeah,
I only see one of you. Oh, that's
but
amazing.
I can hear my. It's okay. I could hear my. It's better now. I can hear my voice. I could hear it repeating itself. No, what was the question? Oh, okay. Yeah, I do remember. Well, one of the things that I know that the body loves is that relaxation. Is that one of which I found really helped me is actually being with everything and relaxing into my body, not contracting. Because one of the things with grief is, of course, most people will go to contraction and suppression, whereas there's another beautiful energy where you can actually just be really present with yourself and your body and let those barriers down and then actually receive more from the universe. And that is totally different.
Well, it reminds me a bit, because when we talked in the beginning about the migraine, which is like it's a very present pain. It's a pain that you can't really get away from when you get a migraine. And grief is a similar, because it's everywhere. It has that like a migraine. It kind of takes you over if you allow it.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering of the similarity where you're actually now you're asking body, what awareness are you giving me for the migraine? And here you're saying grief like contracts, but if you relax, that again has that you can receive now the awareness or the gifts or the contribution that actually is around.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, and I became so aware of that to a much bigger extent, when my husband died, because I really saw that there was so much more ease in my body. And then I'm like, so what is this ease? And then I realized, I'm actually letting the barriers down. I'm not contracting, and I'm willing to receive the possibility. I'm willing to. Receive. Be able to, in the sense of receiving and communicating with myself, with my body and my being. If that, it was very beautiful, very, and I mean, and yes, there were tears, but there wasn't the solidification to the extent of what you may see with a lot of people. They'll go to their cave and then they want to hide there because that's their way of dealing with it, where actually there is a totally different way.
Do you get that we actually also, when we're in pain, because we're kind of talking about physical pain, but also pain inside from loss.
Yeah.
But do you think that we also are hiding in that cave from the projections, expectations, and judgments from everyone around?
Well, yeah, there is that. And there's also that part of where we want to hide because we want to hold on to what was as well. And I think that sometimes is very misidentified, because if you actually were willing to relax and receive, it's all there. You don't have to hold on. It's all actually there. And And there was another part of that question that I've forgotten what you asked me.
That's
yeah,
okay.
but there was something else that came into my brain when you were asking me. But
Well, it's such an interesting image, this cave part, because we do that even with physical pain. Like we go into the pain
yes,
somehow to keep it in place, but even, I don't know, to stop time or something. There is that sense of, even with physical pain, we will go to the cave and we'll hold on to whatever is going on. So could you talk a little bit more about that? Because that getting out of that cave, I think, may be the first step to actually not holding whatever kind of pain you're in place.
Yeah. Well, it's like that the somewhere we thought that if we get into that, some people it's go to the cave, some people it's where they just totally want to disappear in a way because it's too hard, it's too much, it's too hard. So so it's really just being and now I lost my train of thought totally. I've whatever that is, it's gone. It's gone. But anyway, it's gone.
So let me ask you, if somebody is listening to this right now, are in their cave of pain, of some kind of pain, physical or other, what would you suggest for them to start moving out of there and start creating something different? What will be a first step?
Well, I think the first step would be to, if you're really going, is to honor themselves. Like to actually just really, maybe that one of those steps of, of those intimacy with yourself. And maybe it could be just to, just allow yourself, and they do say that, allow yourself to, sit quietly somewhere and do some writing or put your flowers together. But what if you could not judge yourself? Like what if you could allow yourself to just be, like maybe that could be the first step. And don't allow yourself to get lost in those thoughts, feelings, and emotions, or those projections from everyone. And that was a great tool for me, was that I had a trust and I had an honoring and a vulnerability and a gratitude, or even if they started with gratitude for themselves, even if they had that down, like those basic energies were there for me, that even if I dipped out and even if I had those moments, I still had me. I still had myself and my body. And I could be with that.
And having allowance for whatever comes up, whether it's like pain or grief or even not pain and not grief, which is when you lose somebody, could be a very somehow feeling like that's horrible if I don't feel what I'm supposed to feel, if I'm not being what I'm supposed to be. So that allowance and the gratitude. And then the question you were asking with your migraine, would you say that again, please? Because that was so brilliant. And I think it goes for any kind of pain in the body.
Absolutely. It was so cool. It's what is this awareness that you're gifting me here? And see, a lot of times too, when we have an intensity or we have a pain or we have grief, a lot of times we'll turn it to, we're unable to see it as a gift.
Yeah.
Because everything that shows up for us actually is a gift. So by actually first saying, what is this awareness you're gifting here? What is this awareness that you're gifting me here, body? Because the body is always gifting to us. It's just a lot of times that when we get an intensity or a pain or grief or whatever it is, we define it as pain. Or we define it as grief. Yes, and wrong. Instead, what if it's a gift? What if it's actually a gift the body is giving you, and it's, knocking maybe a little bit harder than normal to say, hey, there's something else available here. I'm here. I'm here with you. I'm walking with you. I'm being with you. And, what else could we create here? What else is possible? Yeah.
And I love that question. And when I remember, I use it. Sometimes I
Yeah.
forget to use it, and then it starts like solidifying. But and a question that I add to that is actually, what's right about this that I'm not getting yet? Because it takes me
Yeah.
out of
Yeah.
that immediate going to wrongness. I have to change that. This is bad. This is wrong. This is horrible. And instead, like, yeah, what awareness are you gifting me here, body? And what's right about this that I'm not getting yet? Because, like you say, every single thing is a gift. Every single thing, if you look at it in a much
Yeah.
wider perspective, is it creates something different. It gives you an awareness, and you'll make some choices based on that, and then some choices based on those choices and the awareness you're getting.
Yeah.
It's like the beginning of a shift into something different all the time.
Absolutely. And that's the beautiful thing too. Like when I was asking that question in the beginning, like, body, what is this? Like just catching that, catching it, not going into this is a pain or I've got a migraine coming. Instead, like, what is this awareness? And it wasn't just once, it was a muscle, it was a demand. And once I made that commitment, eventually did change. But it's just, and I suppose for people listening too, just don't give up. And there is a lot, and the magic of the question, and even just the gratitude, because when there's gratitude, there's no room for judgment. And I mean, that's the miracle again.
Yeah.
It's a miracle energy.
It is a miracle energy, but and I love what you just said, because this is, I mean, we say this often and it's in a lot of our books and everything, but
Yeah.
gratitude and judgment cannot coexist. And that's why
Mm.
gratitude is like such a potent and powerful tool to use, like choosing gratitude for you and your body, and actually like immersing yourself in gratitude
Yeah.
will allow the
Yes.
judgment to dissipate, because it can't coexist.
Yes.
They don't go together. That is a way
No,
to
it's so.
honor. Gratitude in itself is like awe
Yes.
making. Yeah. I think that's a wonderful place to end. Thank you so much,
Yes.
Wendy. And thank you
Oh,
for coming
thank
on
you.
and for dealing with
Oh,
all
it's
the
so exciting.
double speaking. Have a wonderful stay up in the outback. Thank you so
I
much.
will. And it's so lovely to see you. I can't wait to give you a big hug.
Neither. And now I'm not sure how.
Bye.
Bye.